Hi everyone, I'm going to be explaining how you develop your critical and creative thinking capability. So if you have chosen critical and creative thinking for your capability for research project, you need to explain both in your proposal and the rest of your folio how you actually developed this capability through the research processes and practices throughout your research project. These dot points are the ones that you should be developing. You won't develop all dot points, but you should develop a majority of them. I'm going to go through and give you some examples of how you might develop these so that you can then use these examples to create your own for your research project. So firstly, if looking at this dot point here, thinking critically, logically, ethically, and reflectively. If your question is based around making a decision, whether it be pros and cons or the benefits or disadvantages of a certain practice or thing, you're going to be thinking critically because you're going to be coming to a conclusion about whether the benefits outweigh the negatives of a certain practice. So you would address this by saying that I'm going to develop my ability to think critically and reflectively by analyzing both sides of the argument. Looking at the next dot point, learning and applying new knowledge and skills. During research project, you are constantly going to be learning about new knowledge and you're going to be applying that new knowledge and potentially skills to help further your research. So you might develop this by saying, I plan to develop my learning of new knowledge by expanding my research processes to include processes such as video documentaries or the EBSCO database. You might also then say that I plan to develop my ability to apply new skills by saying that I'm going to be learning about how to use online databases and apply that new skill to research my topic in different areas to hopefully find more information. Looking at dot point 3, accessing, organizing, using, and evaluating information, everyone will be doing this in their research project. So you'll be developing your ability to access information by using different research processes, such as interviews or surveys or documentaries, magazine articles, uh, books. You're also going to be organizing this information as well. So you might choose to develop your ability to organize information by creating Word documents that summarize the information with a list of all the information and where it came from. You might want to then look at how you're going to evaluate this information by looking at selecting appropriate information for your research project rather than just copying pasting all the information into your research project. You're going to be posing questions and identifying clarifying information and ideas. Because we've chosen critical and creative thinking likely because you're looking at both sides of the argument, you need to be able to pose questions to look at both to clarify information and ideas. So you might be developing your ability to pose questions by thinking outside the box and identifying information that you may not have come across before. Looking at developing knowledge and understanding a range of research processes. Again, with critical and creative thinking, you need to be creative about the research processes that you plan to use. So you should be using a multitude of research processes. You should be developing knowledge and understanding of those research processes. So you might develop your knowledge and understanding of research processes such as interviews by learning how to design questions that are both detailed and allow you to get the information that you require. You might be learning you might be developing your ability to understand how to extract information from YouTube videos. You just need to explain how you're going to develop knowledge and understanding of that research process. Looking at the understanding the nature of innovation. So most people, this one here is again about being creative and it's about understanding that information changes and develops over time. So if you're looking at the history of something, then you're most likely going to be addressing this. Looking at this one here, recognizing how knowledge changes over time and is influenced by people. So what you would the way that you would address this capability is by saying that you are actually addressing or researching using the most relevant information, the youngest information, because you know that knowledge changes over time. And that's how you address that capability. You would be exploring and experiencing creative processes and practices during critical and creative thinking. So if you're exploring creative practices by actually building something, then that's how you're going to develop that capability. If you're looking at creative ways of creating a survey or an interview, that's how you're going to be developing that capability. Designing features that are fit for function, physical, virtual, or textual. So if you're actually going to create something during your research project, that's how you're you're addressing this capability here. Some of you might understand that there is a place for creativity in learning, the workplace, and community life. So if you're looking at creativity in learning, particularly looking at how people like myself, for example, how I use creativity in my teaching to make it easier for students to learn. All right, this last up point here, reflecting on, adjusting, and explaining their thinking and identifying the reasons for choices, strategies, and actions taken. So this is about being critical of your own reasons for identifying choices, but also thinking about why other people might choose choices as well. So if you're going to be interviewing someone about their choice or opinion on your research question, you would reflect on that and explain their thinking and reasons for the choice that they have made. And that's how you would address that dot point.